Welcome back, all anime ship girl enthusiasts, to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how to farm combat experience for PR ships fast and efficiently. With PR4 releasing, a bunch of people, including myself, have posted their PR4 progress, and a couple of people asked me on Twitter and on YouTube and stuff, how do I farm that fast? To some people, it takes a lot of time, and they're wondering how I did it so fast. On this video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks in terms of how to farm efficiently and how to farm quickly in order to be able to unlock the combat experience requirements and get through them faster for your PR ships in order to be able to unlock ships faster. A bit of a disclaimer though, even if you unlock your PR ships faster, that doesn't mean that they're going to be usable any faster, because the real bottleneck is going to be blueprints. So this is for people that just kind of want to get the grinds over with and be able to have the freedom to use whatever ships they want, or maybe they just really want to get a ship as quickly as possible, like I did with Marco Polo, in order to oath them or level them up and get them ready to the point where they will be usable with blueprints. I'm going to be talking about basically two mindsets that you should have while farming. Are you going to be time efficient, or are you going to be oil efficient? Those that are oil efficient means that they have a lot of time to grind, so they want to be as oil efficient as possible in order to stretch out their oil as much as possible. If you want to be time efficient, that means that you have quite a bit of oil to go through, but you don't really play that much, and you want to be able to grind as time efficiently as possible during the time that you can play the game, and that includes using up more expensive fleets so you can go through your oil while at the same time maintaining some level of efficiency, so you'll have enough for the days to come after that. So I'm going to go through each kind of mindset, little tips and tricks in terms of how to handle morale and how you want to set up your fleets for either Vanguard or backline PR ship combat XP requirements. So let's get into it. So my first tip would be to use as many ships that are relevant to the combat XP requirement as possible and minimizing the amount of ships that aren't. So in this case, I'm going to be using 3 KMS backline ships since I'm doing the August von Percival XP grind. I'm using Peter Strasser, Zeppi, and Graf Zeppelin in the backline, and then a single Vanguard ship in the front line in order to minimize the amount of quote-unquote wasted oil that I'm using that isn't going towards August von Percival's combat XP requirements. So here I'm using 3 backline, 1 frontline ship. Now similarly, if you're going to be doing, for example, Anchorage, for the Vanguard, you're going to be doing a single backline ship along with a triple frontline Vanguard with, here I have Honolulu, Dewey, and Columbia. So these setups are the most time efficient. So I'm using triple backline or triple Vanguard fleets, so I have 3 ships getting combat XP. Now this is generally okay for Vanguard combat XP requirements, but for backline combat XP requirements, it's not as efficient in terms of oil. Now let me explain. When you're trying to get the XP for a backline ship, you can get MVP in the backline, but you can also get the flagship bonus. Now the flagship bonus plus the MVP stacked together gives you ×3 base amount of XP on that ship. So in this case, I've set it up so that Peter Strasser gets MVP as much as possible, because the MVP stacked with the flagship bonus gets you ×3 the base XP amount. In this case, let's assume for easy amount of numbers that the base XP is 1000. So if I just use Peter Strasser with a 1-1 with Birmingham, I get 3000 XP for 23 oil. If I add another ship, let's say the Graf Zeppelin that I mentioned before, I would be getting the 3000 3 times the base XP on Peter Strasser, and then the 1000 base XP on Graf Zeppelin, for a total of 4000 XP going to our August von Percival, but for the cost of an additional 13 oil, which is less efficient, which is actually more oil per XP. If we even add a third ship even here, we get even less efficient, because now we get 5000 XP, but where it costs us 48 oil. So this is where time efficient versus oil efficiency comes into play. If you have a lot of oil and not a lot of time to play the game, and your oil stacks up, then doing a 3-1 is what you want to do. You want to be as time efficient as possible. If you have a lot of time to play the game, but you don't have too much oil, or you do have oil, but you want to stretch it out for longer periods of time, I would actually recommend a 2-1. A 2-1 is a nice compromise with a 1-1, because a 1-1 ends up taking 33% less time. If you have a lot of oil and a lot of time to spend as well, and you want to stretch that oil out, or you just don't have that much oil, I would actually recommend going down to a 2-1, or honestly, even in extreme cases, even a 1-1. Because again, even if you get rid of Graf Zeppelin here, let's say you go from a 2-1 down to a 1-1, you're actually still getting 75% of the XP that you would be getting with a 1-1. Remember, Peter Strasser is getting ×3 the base amount of XP if she's getting MVP. So So you're actually getting 3,000 if our base is 1,000. She's getting 3,000. And if you add a Graf Zeppelin, you're only getting 4,000 in total, which is only 1,000 more, which is only 33% more. But your oil cost goes from 23 up to 36. That's 13 oil more, over 50% more oil for only a 33% XP boost. So this is where thinking about oil efficiency comes into play. How efficient do you want to be with your oil? If you want to be super efficient, going to 1-1 with Graf Zepp, Peter Strasser, or whatever backline you're using with a Vanguard is actually the most oil efficient because of that MVP plus backline bonus. Now, this doesn't totally apply with a Vanguard frontline, a Vanguard PR grind, because there's no flagship bonus. There is only the MVP bonus. Now, you should be setting up your fleets in order for your frontline to be getting MVP. So that includes either gimping your carrier if you're using a solo carrier in the back, taking away, maybe putting in weaker planes so they don't take MVP, or giving your battleship the confetti gun, the gold twin 410mm gun that does absolutely 0 damage and gimps your battleship so your frontline takes MVP. You want to be making sure that your MVP goes towards the ship that you want in order for to maximize the PR grind XP income. So since you don't have flagship bonus for your Vanguard, the amount of XP that you use is actually much closer related to the amount of ships that you use. You can at most get a ×2 MVP bonus. So again, if you're just doing a 1-1, let's say, you get the ×2 bonus, MVP bonus. But if you add another ship, you're actually going to be increasing the amount of XP you get by another 50%, but you're also using the same amount of oil, up to 50%. So this actually works out better. If you use a third, you're getting 33% more XP for 33% more oil. So this the oil cost to XP ratio stays much closer for a Vanguard ship. So I would actually still recommend using 3 Vanguard ships. This thing also maximizes the chances that one of your Vanguards takes MVP, because a lot of the, or else you're going to be doing really slow clears because you're going to be banking on that one Vanguard ship to get MVP if you're gimping your backline. So I would recommend using 2 or 3 Vanguard ships, even if you're trying to be oil efficient, just because Vanguard ships as well are cheaper. But just keep in mind your efficiency when you're making a fleet for the backline, just because of the MVP plus flagship bonus is huge, and you automatically get 3 times the base amount of XP on that one ship. Adding an extra ship for 50% more oil only gives you 33% more XP. So keep that in mind. Now, the next question that people ask me is, where do you farm, Jerdo? How do you get so much XP so fast? Now, I would highly recommend, if you have ships that are well over level 100, 12.2 and 12.4 are the places to go to farm XP fast. This is a higher level map that gives you a lot of XP, and it's really easy to survive once you get it to save, because all you have to do is stack a little bit of anti-air, and it's very, very easily survivable. It's especially easy to survive with your backline ships. Backline ships have a very easy time surviving in safe mode once you get to safe in 12.2 and 12.4. I would recommend 12.2 at first, and if you're very easily able to survive, then you can head on a 12.4. 12.4 gives you a little bit more XP, about 9% more XP. So it just goes by that much faster. 12.2 is a great place. That's where I do most of my grinding. For example, right now I'm using the 3-1 with Strasser, Zeppi, Graf Zeppelin, along with Birmingham. I think this is a great way of farming 12.2. If you don't have World 12, you haven't reached World 12, you're a newer player, you're not sure where to go, I would actually recommend killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and then just farming for a drop ship. There's a lot of maps that have drop only ships. You know, you got Isuzu in 7.3. You know, you're starting in 3.4. You got Akagi and Kaga. Then you got Udachi in 6.4. You got Isuzu 7.3. You got Ikazuchi and Inazuma 8.2 and 8.3. You got Hosho 8.4. There's a lot of ships that you can farm for. Jinsu 10.4. Nizuki 9.4. The list goes on. That you got a lot of ships. Nicholas 9.3. So I would actually recommend killing 2 birds with 1 stone and just picking a map where you don't have the drop only ship from, and then just applying the principles that I just talked about how to create your fleet, and then just go into town with that. I think it's pointless for early players to just go to like a specific map for XP when you get nothing else out of it. You really have to, in order to progress and work on your progression, you really have to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. One of the best ways to maximize your oil usage is to do 2 things with it. If you're doing PR progress, then you can also do drop only ship farming, and stuff like that. Or even better, if there's an event going on, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Use the PR XP grind ships in the event. You're farming the event and getting PR XP at the same time. That is the best way to do it. But if there's no event going on, you're a higher level player, you don't know where to go, where to get the most XP, 12.2 and 12.4 are my go-to places. Some excellent maps that give a lot of XP and give you commander XP as well if you're a decently, until you get like a 130 plus or something. Also, one more thing to think about is your morale. So every time you use a ship in a sortie, your morale drops. So how do you deal with that? Make sure that you guys are using the 2nd floor of the dorm. The 2nd floor of the dorm is a great way to make sure that your ships keep their morale for as long as possible. So any ship that you're using for a long farming session, you should always put in the second floor of the dorm. The second floor of the dorm only regenerates morale, and it regenerates it really fast. You're able to keep farming for longer. And if you're going to be farming to the point for so long that your one fleet might end up running out of morale anyway, then don't feel shy about making a second fleet. Make a second fleet with another batch of ships that you're working for the PR grind, and grind that. And by the time that loses their morale, the ships that are in here should have regenerated enough morale that you can keep going back and farming with them again. So make sure you guys are using the second floor of the dorm to regenerate your morale, to be able to farm for longer and not being stuck with waiting for your morale to regenerate. Keep an eye on your ship's morale, and don't overwork them. Don't abuse your ship girls. Don't abuse your ship girls. So to summarize, make sure you're using the right ships for the PR grind that you are working on, and make sure that you're using them in good numbers. Again, if you want to be oil efficient, you just do a 1-1 or a 2-1 to stretch your oil. If you want to be time efficient, then do a 3-1 or a 1-3, and make sure that you minimize the amount of oil cost by using cheaper ships, and you maximize the chances of the right ships getting MVP by manipulating your MVP by either gimping your backline if you're trying to give your Vanguard MVP, or making sure that your flagship gets MVP when you're running multiple ships in the backline. So make sure to manipulate that in a way that maximizes your XP gain. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys found it helpful, feel free to leave a like. I appreciate that. Helps the channel a lot. Please subscribe if you want more content. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I stream on Twitch 3 times a week. I stream Agile Lane. Check me out, twitch.tv/Jerdo1. Hope to see you guys there. Check out on our Discord server if you have any more questions. I'm also very active on there, and we have a big, helpful community of Agile Lane players that love to help newer players. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.